Low rolling plane passes. Sky is high, the horizon lit off blue. A late morning, a mid afternoon perhaps. A world quiet in its stagnancy, but scarred. Everywhere scarred. And in this place, in this space, we see not one, but 5 young, brilliant, bright souls passing their way through their field on a school day where they should all be elsewhere. So, as I pass the camera on over to you, tell me who we're looking at, how they look briefly, what you're doing in this space that you're passing through this open, grassy field, and why you decided to be here rather than skipping school. Let's start with DeeDee.
Me? Wait, am I muted? No, I am muted. Okay, there we go. Hi, DeeDee is 6. She's wearing a little pink shift dress, her little blonde pigtails. She's literally skipping through the field, picking flowers, being a menace, as only 6-year-olds can be. And probably making a lot of noise, truly, like.
Well, nice to meet you, DeeDee, and who are you being played by this evening?
DeeDee's being played by me. I'm Cass, better known as Yoda or Yoda Almighty. I forgot what I was told to do because I fully dissociated.
That's fine. You did enough, honestly.
Hi, guys. You know me. It's fine.
As we see DeeDee picking and playing through flowers in the small field, one of them passes through the wind as the camera moves along to follow Lynn next.
Lynn is 5, and they have a basket with some cookies in it that they're just walking along eating and really enjoying them and trying to eat as many as she can before she goes to see the coolest people that she knows that she's going to go hang out with. And let's see, she as she, they pronouns.
Good. It's nice to meet you, Lynn. Who are you being played by this evening?
I am being played by Janie, who is not Jamie, but that's what she says her name is, Janie.
Nice to meet you both once again. And as Lynn trundles along, basket full of cookies, slowly bobbing in the slight gentle wind, the camera passes off to another of our 5 as they arrive to hang out with their, oh so cool apparently, friends. Let's next take a look over to Bumper, who trundles onto the scene accordingly.
So yeah, Bumper is 10 years old and 1 week. That 1 week is very important to him in very certain situations. Kind of a little bit heavier set, a little wider, little extra fat on the cheeks, kind of tousled brown hair. But the most important thing is covered in band-aids, couple on his fingers, one across his nose, like a fresh bruise, like kind of on the side of his head. It'll be clearly evident why he is named Bumper, but he's probably the one who is leading everybody. Guys, come on. You're not going to believe this. I found something incredible. Come on.
Well, nice to meet you, Bumper. And who are you being played by this evening?
Bumper is played by Bumper without a lisp. That's basically, this is me as a kid. I am Steven, aka DJ Stevosaurus. You might see me around. Pronouns are he, they. Bumper is just Bumper. If John is all right with it, I'm going to steal his thing and go with no pronouns for Bumper because he just kind of is. I guess they kind of are.
Happy to meet you as you are, Bumper. And as you kind of trumble along, coming into the scene and briefly letting your friends know that you've seen the most incredible thing, which will of course come right back to, we have 2 more members of our party to come to. So, as we are sitting in the space, the camera passes along for Bumper, noticing everything that they can about the incredible scene around them, as we pass ourselves next over to, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Chryssix?
Chryssix.
6. Got it. The all like an A in the overlay font. I was using the overlay to read it. I was like, oh god, I forgot. Okay, cool. Chris 6, beautiful name by the way.
Thank you. It's actually a friend's username. Chris 6, sometimes called Chris, sometimes just called K, is following not far behind DeeDee and using the chaos that they cause to collect interesting frogs or insects or even small rodents that she is terrified out of their hiding place. He is 8 years old. He is very scrawny. His head seems like it's almost 2 sizes too large for his body. He's got a shaggy mop of like almost raven black hair, a lot of freckles all over his face, and very green eyes. And he's just looks up very interested when Bumper says he's found the coolest thing and quickens his pace across the field.
Well, nice to meet you, Chris 6. And who are you being played by this evening?
I'm being played by Jason, aka Graphical Ronin. My pronouns are he, him. Chris 6 pronouns, I guess, are ostensibly he, him, but he doesn't really think about that yet. So he would probably be just fine answering to just about anything.
The joy in youth is not getting to think about certain things until you have to. Well,
yes.
as your wide green eyes follow the camera, trundling along towards your friends, we have one less member of the group slinking their way into the scene, perhaps almost hidden by the shadow of a tree, but still present amongst their friends as they approach. How are you, Zombie?
I don't think Zombie's going to answer that question, but we do see this kind of pretty scrawny, maybe could potentially be the tallest in the group if they weren't so kind of like hunched over, very pale skin kid, is wearing a kind of heavy hemp shirt with a shirt or sweater, I guess we would call it nowadays, maybe, with a big hood, and this kind of general fairly rural outfit, in contrast to these, what we as the audience would recognize as like pretty old-timey looking headphones, these like big over-ear, for us it would be maybe kind of 60s 70s kind of era big old headphones, and they are following along behind all the other kids, and I think specifically so they seem to be kind of cradling something or holding something in their arms, maybe somewhat protective, away from the other kids, and I think especially because Chris is or as we said, DeeDee is kind of kind of rousing up all these little animals, and Chris is collecting them. I think Zombie has what first also looks like a little animal, but turns out to be essentially like a carcass, a tiny little body of like maybe like a dead mouse. We clearly know that it's dead. Like we probably see like a clear kind of open wound. Like maybe we see like bone jutting out. Kind of Zombie carries it around as if it's still speaking to them and in some kind of way. They heard Bumper talk about some kind of new discovery, and is going to follow along somewhat hesitantly because they can't keep up with the energy levels that everyone else is putting out. Zombie's being played by me, by John. I go by no pronouns, are they or he. John East on the Discord. That's most of the places that you'll find me is just kind of going to be Discord servers. But you can also find me on my itch page, which we're going to shout out at the end.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Zombie. And as you are the last to slowly approach and meet the rest of your friends, DeeDee, Lynn, Bumper, and Chrisix, the scene slowly pans across as Bumper quickly tells the group to rush along now, as there's something incredible they've seen. The group of you follow along, running, walking, or perhaps half-heartedly trotting along, as the camera slowly rises up to a forest, a copse of trees just beyond your sight, and above it, rising high over the horizon, the massive, arcing, angular hulk of a wrecked starship. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening. Ladies, gents, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Neon Lights Roleplay. More specifically, I welcome you to A Quiet After War. This is a one-shot of the ecosystem by Rollover Play Dead, and as a part of our Mecha March events. If you don't know what we're doing here, Mecha March supports Women's History Month, and as part of that, we are giving a lot of love to different charities throughout the event. So, if you use the command MMCharity in chat, you'll see a link to our Tiltify where we are supporting a group called Sad Girls Club. They are a group providing lots of access to break stigma and provide affordable care for mental health for Black femmes all across the country. If that seems like a thing you're cool with and you have the means to, please go ahead and hit that link in the chat. That's MMCharity, exclamation point MMCharity in chat. Otherwise, I'm Foxy, here's our cast, and let's go ahead and have some fun, shall we? Echo, as it were, is a unique game. We are in a world that is idyllic in a sense. Peaceful, some might say. Quiet, others might wish. But more than anything else, it is a world scarred. A world that has seen conflict. And signs of that conflict, like this massive ship you are all approaching, are all over this world. As you climb the way through trees and coming down a low, already hollowed out riverbank into the low dugout divot, this crater grave this ship dug into it on its impact, you find yourself slowly moving down towards the superstructure of some kind. An occasional spark flies left or right here, but overall you don't feel too in danger. So as the scene follows you all, please freely narrate as you see that there's a 3-tiered layout to the ship, which is angled off to its right. The first layer or two is reachable, the first probably from the ground, the second if you climb up the right thing. The third's a little higher up, but hanging down from the second, as if whatever room it's in was just ripped open in the impact, a large, glowing, rectangular core of some kind is hanging down on some wires or debris of some kind. Darlings, as I am so kind to say in sessions like these, the scene is yours.
See, I told you guys this was the most incredible thing ever. Have you ever seen anything like that? No, you haven't. Bumper found it. Like, that's just like what they had in the stories, right? This has got to be something from that. I told you they're real.
Can we get it?
Well, that's what I needed you guys for. I'm not tall enough, so I need someone's help to get up there.
Uh-huh.
I'll get up there.
Yeah, let's go, Lynn.
Lena is shorter, but is going to try to climb.
Well, yeah. It should probably just lift somebody up. I think we can just do that. Like, if somebody gets on my shoulders, and then somebody gets on... Lynn can get on that person's shoulders, and then we should be able to reach it.
Yeah.
That's way safer than climbing. Because what if the railings come loose?
I gotta be careful leaning out over stuff because my head's very heavy.
Okay, hold my cookie so I can climb the people.
Okay.
I'll take the cookie.
Zombies, can you... You're pretty tall. Can you can be the middle base?
Yeah, zombie has already like wordlessly gone like walked over to the to the base of the structure, and I think has been just kind of standing there with the hands kind of like held out like in in like a hey I'm gonna boost you up kind of pose. No.
All right, yeah. Bumper will take that, and then like once he gets up, start to reach down to help Lynn up.
Lynn is just the littlest one of all of you, but is really really wants to get up there.
I probably get like a little foot in my face or something like that. Like.
Chris will help try to lift her up, but he's got that little kid strength where he thinks he's strong, but he gets it up to about his knees, and that's about the height that it's gonna go.
I think actually it's as you go to scramble, Bumper, you're kind of watching Chris try to lift Lynn up while they're on top of Zombie's shoulders. You see their knees like quake that one time, and you're like, oh no, hold on. And before you can even say anything, the whole assembly tumbles. Everyone's going to the ground already. Lynn, thankfully you are kind of in Chris's arms, so as you kind of tumble and roll a bit, you don't hit the ground too hard, but you do like literally like end over end roll a little bit, and bang, the like sort of like back of your head and such, right against the sort of side of this, I guess like the part of the ship embedded into the ground. It's not hard. It's loud because there is a very, very hollow ship you're hitting. But in that way that kids just have kind of bones made of steel for a while and they don't seem to care about injury unless you care about them, you're fine, most likely.
It's less that kids' bones are made out of steel and more that they're made out of rubber.
Yeah.
There's a
True.
lot of give.
I want
Not
to
as
say,
many crumple zones on a kid.
What to say, Lynn's got, I guess her hair's like up in ribbons or something. And when she falls, one of the ribbons comes out. Basically, by the end of this, she's just going to have like wild hair that's everywhere. One
Oh,
of them,
The classic.
that might be a concussion. Somebody ask her what her favorite cookie is.
Lynn, what's your favorite cookie?
all of them.
That's
She's
right.
fine. She's fine.
You need her cookie, Lynn? And I hold the basket back out.
DeeDee, it's as you hold the basket up, that thing you are all looking at, that large core, shifts just a hair or two. And as out of what looked like rows and rows of slots in it, all along its side and banks and front and side and rear, something triangular and roughly maybe the size of, you'd say, your hand or so, drops and falls into the basket.
Kids, I found it first.
Nope, mine.
It's my
Finders
bag.
keepers. Yeah,
It's
your
glowing.
hair
Is
basket.
it magic?
No, that's my cookie.
It's not a cookie. It's mine.
DeeDee, you have it in your hands.
Yeah.
You fumble around with it, trying to keep it away from Lynn and from Bumper. And as Bumper kind of comes around trying to be like, let me get it, you swipe it away a little bit and you press your thumb against the middle of it as you're going to turn a bite on it. It glows even brighter. It almost hums a bit. And a voice.
It's fine.
A voice speaks. At first, crackly and not clear, but slowly, after a couple of seconds, it manifests into words. Vistani Militia, Vistani Free Militia. Code GM634, call sign, Fennec.
Hi.
What is this?
I don't know.
Guys.
You're in a weird little glowy rock.
What's a fennec?
It's a fox. I read it in a book.
I thought it was a cookie.
Hi, I'm DeeDee. I'm 6. My friends
Oh,
are here.
hell.
Can you see them?
No, kid. I can't see
This
anything.
is Lynn. Oh. Lynn, say hi.
Hi, I thought you were a cookie. I really like cookies. Do you like cookies?
I think. Give me a second. Still kind of rebooting. Kid, you're holding an Echo Drive. It's
What's that?
well, it's like me, but when someone dies, ships like the one I assume you found this thing in keep records of the pilot's biographics, memory cores, brains. It's a copy of me. I'm gone. Dead.
You're a dead person?
Yeah, I should have.
Guys, people can't talk, though, so.
It's
It's
haunted.
on your story
It's
there, bud.
haunted glow rock. Oh.
I think Zombie is like kind of probably in the background, is kind of scooched closer to the scene, and says in a very very quiet voice that clearly shows that they aren't using it very often. Are you from the war?
I'll hold it
Wow.
closer to Zombie.
The voice will kind of remain quiet for a while, just that crackly static for a few seconds. How long has it been?
I mean,
You
I
think
think
it's been.
as kids, I assume we probably wouldn't know anyways. But as players, how long has it been?
Yeah.
Fantastic question. As players, how long do we feel like it's been since this war's ended?
I like at least 100 years, I think.
At least
think it's
2-3 hours.
What about a nice 200 years?
So I kind of like the 100. Personally, I like the 100 a little more because then you could still have like probably at this point like dead relatives, but relatives that you kind of know.
Yeah,
who
yeah,
might
yeah,
have-
yeah. Like
right, like
great
my
grandma.
grandpa or something. Yeah.
We are sort of
Yeah,
the
okay.
start of the like first generation where you don't have any living ancestors connected to it.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Um,
there's obviously still some survivors who have lived longer, but like most people, it's kind of gone.
But we're hearing it more secondhand from the people who heard it firsthand.
Yeah.
So, Grammy, who died last year, she was little when the war ended. She was really old.
She was like 1,000.
Really old.
Maybe 2,000.
Even now.
The drive remains quiet for another long, long while, as if contemplating, perhaps trying to boot up whatever spare memory it has.
I think we made it sad.
Maybe
No.
it's still looking for its boot.
No,
Because it's
no, kid.
rebooting.
Not sad. Just curious. To answer your question earlier, was it DeeDee? No,
Yeah.
I can't see anything. I can hear you
That
all.
sucks.
As far as I know, I still have most of my memories, but sight isn't a thing I have. So I'm curious what it's like out there, I guess.
Well, we're in a field. There's flowers. Lynn brought cookies. Bumper found the thing you were in. Should we poke it, see if more glow rocks fall out?
No, that's probably not for the best.
The flowers are all different colors.
The flowers are all different colors. There's purple and yellow and blue and what other colors are there?
Pink.
Yeah.
And there's that weed that's like white, but it's like yellow white.
Yeah.
Dark fruit. That's a good color.
Were you a general?
What's that mean?
A
No,
boss.
kid. Nothing like
Oh.
that. Just a regular old mercenary.
What does that mean?
I think Zombie's still gonna give like not that the Echo Drive can see it, but Zombie's still gonna give kind of like a somewhat fumbled salute to that.
Mercenary is like it's like a soldier who, well, it's a person who gets paid to kill people, kids. Just want to keep it simple.
Does that mean you were bad?
If
I'm
only
gonna
war were
throw
that
you in the
simple, yeah.
lake if you were bad.
No, he's probably rich. I heard that mercenaries are really rich.
But he's dead.
Wait, maybe he's got his money somewhere in the ship.
Yeah, you have your money somewhere
Bumper
in the ship.
immediately dives headfirst into scrap.
You're not going to find much in there, let me tell you. If it's been as long as
No,
I feel
that
like.
attitude.
It's been as long as I feel like. Anything still worth it in there has already been picked clean. Good, bad, well, it ain't that easy, sadly. So, let's just say I had a cause and a mission, if I remember. I was supposed to... The convoy. The ambush. Limit. Listen, it's not super important for any of you. You could all just press the same button you pressed, turn this back off, and go on back to whatever it is you do. But if you had the time, I haven't seen my home planet in 200 years. I want to know what it's like out there.
You can't see anything.
But you can.
Do I have to eat the rock? It's not a cookie.
And Queen shut. And that's me saying that. Also, I found that, and Bumper holds up like the black box, or a black box. Like, this is the stuff where they put pilot information in. It's just a burnt lunchbox. But it's black and covered in, so it's a black box. So this is where the money is.
Well, I heard that the black box is like if it were to be a crash, you have to hold it.
Oh, wait. Did you drop your black box? Is that why you crashed this ship?
Curious bunch of kids, yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Make you a deal.
No, I'm 8.
I'm 5 going on
Bumper-
15.
Yeah. Bumper's older than you, though, Chris.
But
I'm 10, which is practically an adult, so.
No,
Yeah.
I'm the oldest. I'm 5 going on 15, so I'm older than all of you.
Oh,
I had one of those, so I feel that.
How about this then, you inspiring group of young adults? I'll make you a deal. If you ain't doing too much, why don't you take me around a little? Just tell me what you see. And if in return, see if I can't tell you a few old stories from a person who's seen a few
You're
things.
gonna tell us how you killed people?
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you how the war
Yeah.
happened.
I don't want to hear about him killing people. Y'all are weird.
well, I do, and so Bumper's gonna try and like swipe the thing.
No.
If
No,
you don't want
no.
your stories, give it to me.
I will eat it.
No.
She
Please
will.
don't do
I've seen
that.
her swallow rocks.
I think
Okay.
Zombi's gonna hold out the mouse carcass to DeeDee, almost as if to say, "Here, if you want to hold something, you can have this instead."
Or I'll trade you the black box for the guy.
I don't know what's in the box. You can have your box.
Lynn is
It
just
could be. You can take the Echo Drive or the mystery box. I'll take the Echo Drive, but the mystery box could have an Echo Drive in it.
Maybe 2.
But I have a talking rock.
You want one of my cookies?
I already ate one.
But I didn't say you could have it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get more.
Flip open the box. Oh, there's rocks in here. It's like a 200-year-old cookie.
Yeah.
Pink, pink, pink. Yeah? It's
Space
a
heart
cookie
attack.
rock. Yeah. What do you think?
Fennec is my fox.
All right, fine. You can have him today. I'm just saying, legally speaking, it should be mine because I found this place. But fine. I get the
Never
next
caught a fox
pilot guy
before.
we find.
Okay.
Because, these Echo
As you
Drives are
kind
so
of end
common.
on
We
that
find them
line-
everywhere.
Because as you kind of end on that line on that, I've never caught a fox. Fennec, at least the box representing Fennec, kind of again crumbles in a bit of static, which sounds like it might be a slight bit of a chuckle. They're usually pretty hard to catch. And I think the
I
camera
got
will kind
you
of
real
slowly.
easy.
Yeah, well. And I think we'll just like let the camera slowly pan there. And this is where we can kind of go on into our fun little game here. So, friends, let's start with us here. Each of you gets to tell me a little bit about the world as you describe certain things. So, we're going to start off with your hometown. We have some low-tech or some high-tech options. There's a table we can roll on too if we'd like. Either one's fine. Tell me a little bit about your hometown if you'd like. Just a little bit, as you will. And go ahead and feel free to do this in character as you slowly walk through the place you all are from and have spent time in.
Who goes first?
Well, this can still be any of you. We haven't.
Say bumper. Oh.
We're still doing our sort of our hometown. We'll hit the journey very soon.
Yeah.
So would you like each of us to add one option for like how do you want to?
Sure, let's do that. You know what? Let's do that actually. Let's say everybody can add one detail about what's a thing that they. I guess let's let's scene set for a bit. As the camera wipes away, we put ourselves next in the middle of your hometown. How large it is or small it is, how busy, how many people are buzzing about, it's entirely up to you all. But as you all walk a town, a place you've all known for so long, the drive briefly glows a bit as you once again hear Fennec's voice speak. Feel like we're in some kind of city or town? This is where you all from?
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet gig. You know, it's not to say I run things, but I kind of do. And yeah, so like I imagine this is kind of like a medium-sized city where a group of kids like us can go missing for a day and nobody's going to freak out, but there's also like we do, not to speak for everybody's character, but there is usually somebody to look after you, a parent or some sort of guardian figure to be like, I've noticed that kid's missing. We know they're not in danger, but mark it in my head, this kid is gone.
Well, in that case, each of you can take one moment to describe, both in and out of character as you will, the things you are seeing and relating to the Echo Drive. But as you enter them, consider the following questions. What scars on the land and on the adults show the impact of the final war? How have they faded? How much damage remains? And if anyone needs a certain prompt or anything like that, just let me know and I'll give you a good roll on the table. Whoever wants to take it first, fall on the sword.
I like to think that the town or the small city, as it were, is sort of on the upper slope of a hill. And below that hill is a wide expanse of like green field interspersed with sporadic bits of forest and flowers. And on the far end of that plain is a mountain that's in the haze. But you can see a massive chunk taken out of the side of it. And the grandfathers would have told you of a time when that mountain was twice as big as it is now.
Beautiful. Absolutely. I think as you relay this, Chrisix, as you look over the horizon, see the giant mountain and relate to the Echo Drive about this massive crater your ancestors would tell you used to be the better part of this massive mountain in the distance. The Echo Drive, almost reverently, but with as much patience and somberness as it has horror, just says, That assist won. They said we had a super weapon. Didn't believe them. Said even if they did, we'd fight back anyway. Hard to believe that when it's facing you. Thousands die in just a second.
So we're walking by some gardens, and they're really cool because they have like these little kind of half walls all the way around them, and like some of the bricks are kind of stairs. You walk up them, and you can't really walk up them too good unless you're not big because they're made from bricks. And sometimes there's like a little window that you can see. You could look into the garden, and if you're playing hide or seek, you can hide right under the window, and nobody can see you when they go past it.
Yeah.
But there's lots of these gardens around between the buildings. I think they used to be buildings.
Wow. This city you live in, these gardens, what are the walls made of?
Bricks, and I think they're called cinder blocks.
I think this place used to be a military outpost, a compound. We built hundreds of these when we had to. When the first of the garrisons went down, when the resistance started, when the invasion began. So many of them were wiped out already. I wonder who called this one home.
Were there gardens there when it was a outer whatever you called it?
No, there weren't.
That would explain why there's so many tunnels underneath this city. That's where, if there's nothing cool outside, that's where we kind of run around, when we don't want to go to class. And yeah, so like I imagine any good military outpost has a pretty good underground network that functions now mostly as a sewer for the city. Like people have kind of repurposed it into that, but it is still like it's much wider than any sewer would be. And in fact, that's probably where we're leading him through, like to get back into the city so we don't get caught by our teacher.
Yeah. And we think we're very smart about it, but literally every generation of kids
Yeah.
has done the same exact thing.
Yeah, like this is our secret hideout, and it's like, all right, you kids are going, like, here's where you go when you don't want to do class or smoke future weed.
Bumper,
Devil
as you're
grass.
navigating the group through this tunnel, you take a sort of step up and around a large sort of outcropping that's mostly metal and some sort of large imposing figure. It looks like it might have been roughly shaped like some kind of creature, but the left arm, which you can see kind of sticking out of the wall just a little bit, just as it ends into the wall, you can see its arm is almost compressed into a drill. It looks almost like a mole of some kind, perhaps, if its arms were given over to drills. Fennec chuckles a little and just, these tunnels hit thousands of soldiers. When the battles were all over, when the war was already lost, we used them to keep fighting. 1,000 hands gave 1,000 sacrifices. And what did all of it mean in the end?
I think at the point where we would normally kind of pop out of the tunnels, we have to very quickly kind of scuttle back because we notice that there's two adults up on top of the manhole, I guess is what we're coming out of. And it's specifically one kind of raggedy-looking guy who is hurriedly scraping together a blanket that he had kind of laid out with a bunch of items. We can see some of them kind of falling out. They're mostly like extremely rusted, decrepit pieces of metal. But we do, we as the audience can see that some of them maybe have like the shape of parts of weapons, or maybe there's a completely illegible kind of dog tag that just kind of like rolls to the side. And the other person is kind of this imposing. They call themselves the peacekeepers. This kind of uniformed person who's like, listen, you know you can't do that here. Not within city limits. We have strict rules about this, and I know you know them. This isn't the first time I'm telling you this, so you better get out of here before there's consequences.
The group of you move past this scene, shuffling off to kind of keep to yourselves, but maybe nosily peeking over in the way kids always do when things get loud around them, especially when adults are involved. Fennec doesn't speak for a while, quietly listening in, just. And the more things change, yeah? Tell me, kid.
when we're a little ways out of earshot, Chrisix will whisper to DeeDee's rock. God, it's Tommy's a jerk.
I knew it, Tommy. Squad mate of mine. Good guy.
Well, that Tommy's a butthead.
Probably not the same guy.
He smells like rotten pickles.
He does.
Well, lucky for me, I can't smell that.
Oh, well, he's
Why?
definitely described it in great detail.
But then you can't smell cookies
Well,
or flowers.
You'll just have to remind me what they smell like then.
Socks.
He's a staff sergeant. We shouldn't mess with him.
What's he gonna do? Talk at us louder?
He's a boss, but he's not my boss.
What's a staff sergeant?
A boss. She's in charge. So that means you have to stick it to the man. You say, you're not my boss. You can't tell me what to do.
You can't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad.
My sister says that a lot.
I told my mom that, and she hit me with a broom.
Well, see, you have to say, and then the person yells back like, I am your commanding officer. And you say, no, you're not. And I'm going to tell the Master Chief what I saw you doing the other day.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Ratting out. I like that.
Talking quiet, and then you say, can the children hear? And then you go into your room and close the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't one of you, as Fennec kind of like takes a moment to kind of collect themselves a bit, if one of you knows it, and it's okay if you don't, your kids, this town of yours, where is it? And has it got a name?
I think
Well,
I'm the only
the
one who
town
hasn't
is
done a town. I haven't done a
here.
town fact, have I?
I don't think
but
you have.
Oh,
We lost
We lost
John.
John.
it's okay. We'll get John back. I
Zombie,
believe.
not well. He's zombie, so he'll come back to life.
Yeah, John will be
Can I
back. Don't you
still end
worry.
up? Can I still end up in frame somehow? Hold on.
Hold on. I can put you in frame. Don't you worry. All right. While we're doing that, DeeDee, why don't you go ahead and give us your little your factoid, as it were.
Chamber of Commerce
well,
pitch.
I was,
Swear to God, if
I
you
was
name the
gonna
town
name
Townsville.
the town. I wasn't gonna, but
Damn it.
Oh, come on.
well, this is Cassidy's really struggling to think of a name. This is Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. This
got
is
it.
Dexter. We're in the town of Dexter.
True fact, I live about 25 miles from a town, Dexter, called Dexter.
So do I. DeeDee and Dexter.
Right.
Dad
And,
says it's on the ASS out of nowhere.
Yeah. Wait, what is that spell? Oh, I'm not supposed to say that word.
Well, if any of you want to, if you have your eyes on the Roll20 on the map right now, feel free to go ahead and indicate somewhere on the map and where you feel it appropriate to place our town of Dexter, as it were. And from there, as you're doing so, Fennec will take a moment and kind of just, I don't remember there being much left when it all came down. I suppose things always find a way. Nice to know, I suppose.
Grammy said it had a longer name. It was Fort Dexter.
Huh.
We just call
That's
it
what happened to
Dexter
this
now.
place. Spent a tour here. Not long. I had other places to be on the front, but spent some time at the base resupplying. Met some good soldiers. Met some important soldiers.
Did you meet the
Were
master?
they... Oh yeah, did you meet the Master Chief?
Nothing like that. He was a
Was
little
he
too
a jerk?
busy and, well, by the time I joined, he was already dead, so.
So you don't know if he was a jerk?
Probably. Tell
How
me,
many
kids.
battles did you fight?
That's a good question, I suppose.
Were any of the soldiers your special friends?
Oh.
My sister has a special friend I'm not supposed to know about.
Fennec says, after a while, again, a long period of kind of just staticky silence. My combat record holds up, my memory core still remains. About 137 sorties, few give or take. And, yeah, maybe I did have some kind of special friend. That ain't too important
What
right
was
now.
their name? What was their name?
Say, tell me, kids, if you aren't too busy, you want to take me around the local area? Sure, there's got to be something still remaining from what this place used to be like. I want to know how
Only
it's
if
all
you tell us
changed.
your special friend's name.
Yeah.
Show me enough things and sure. Deal?
I'll tell you my sister's special friend's name.
Everybody knows their name.
It's Brian, Bumper's older
Shut up!
brother.
Fennec doesn't know it. Fennec doesn't know it. Shut up.
Did you break up? Is that what happened?
Did they die?
Did you kiss and they had a baby? Because if you kiss somebody too much, they have a baby.
Hey, how's about we just go see some things first, and I can tell you all some stories while we get there. Questions I'm
Braylon
going to
said
answer
it
when we
was
get
a
time, yeah?
stork.
Do you have to kiss the stork to have a baby? Is that how it works?
It's
Oh,
not a
God.
stork, guys.
Yeah, it's not a stork.
It's really not.
Why would they
How
lie
did you
about
know that? Yeah,
Because my mom told me how babies are made.
yeah, by a stork at the baby
You're-
factory.
All right, okay. If we have enough time, then.
Oh, buddy, we got time, okay? We got time. Don't you worry. We're giving you your
Bunker.
VIP tour here.
There's
Right.
no baby factory.
Yeah. In fact, if I could make a request, just one. Maybe no more stork talk until we get done.
Oh, but I can talk about the baby factory?
Let's skip on that one, too. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No storks, no baby factory. Anything else we can't talk about?
What about
Yeah.
baby daddies?
Let's just find the list as we go. Yeah?
All
Are you
right.
going to tell us your special friend's name? Is that something we are supposed to talk
Later,
about?
please.
If you tell us now, we'll stop talking about storks and baby factories.
Yep.
And baby daddies.
Yeah, and that.
I think it's
Why
as
would a
you
stork
all
work
kind
at
of
a
keep,
baby factory?
I think it's as you all keep kind of pushing on that sort of like that, like, tell us now, that it's hard to tell because of the staticky grain in the voice, but you can sense a bit of an edge in Fennec's voice. They reply just later. Later. Can we do that later?
Oh, you're sad. I'm sorry.
Oh, what's that? Being surrounded by 5 children is annoying. Who knew?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know what you need to know about? You need to know about Zombie's pet mouse. He's dead like you.
But he can't talk.
No.
Dead.
Or wait, zombie, does he talk to you?
Zombie, does he talk?
I think you can see in Zombie's face that like they're clearly like, they're very conflicted between telling you that you're all wrong, but also really not wanting to get into this right now. So I think they'll just end up just mumbling something to themselves and kind of like taking a couple steps back.
Oh, sorry, Zombie.
He's just as secretive as Hispanic is. That's okay.
Is it a ghost?
Do you have a ghost?
Ghost mouse.
Oh, he's a ghost rock. Oh, I said he was haunted already. I did
But
that.
Yeah.
Boo jangles.
So, ghost rock talk aside, I guess. I think it's as this happens, as you all find yourselves passing through the town you've known as home for a while, you all move outside to what would be the main gate. You know that this time of day, the adults are all either busy working or watching something else or monitoring something else. So if you're careful and quick, you can make it out of the gate and explore the local area, probably about as far as the mountains or the forests or the nearby forest south, if you're lucky. Just be back before it gets too late is the idea. Nonetheless, this is where a fun and exciting journey for the 5 of you begins. One by one, you will bring this pilot, this ghost, somewhere. Show them something. And in doing so, perhaps see the world as it used to be, briefly. Before we do that, given that it's already been an hour, let's take a brief little break. Yeah, I know, right? You guys were shitting it up for a while there. Let's take a minute. Let's let ourselves get some water, refuel and defuel appropriately, and come back for some nice, lovely, and I promise not sad in the slightest moments to come. Friends, we'll be right back. Touch not that dial nor that browser, and we'll see you all here in just a bit. Bye-bye. And as we return to A Quiet After War, our Echo one-shot, featuring our Mecha March production. Reminder, please use !MM charity in chat to support the Sad Girls Club and help Black femmes everywhere receive access to safe mental care. Speaking of kids who certainly need a bit of mental care, we follow our 5 little shits, our little brats, our little lovelies, out of their hometown of Dexter, once known as Fort Dexter. They travel with their Echo Drive out along into the wide fields to show them the world. We are already decided how this works, but for the audience's sake, I'll read this off very quickly. Children, each of you in turn will lead this group on a journey to a mech, a mighty wreck that lies silent, disarmed, harmless. The oldest child will go first, or decide who does. We already have. Choose a description and a fate, or roll a die for each and find on the table. Any child can add details to fill the story. How large was the mech? Humanoid or bestial? Colors of the armor? If there's any left? Thrusters, wings, specialized limbs. From the pilot, I'll tell them what I remember about the mech. Friend or foe? Hero or craven? How did it meet its end? How do I feel about the final resting place? And then we'll go on from there until we hit the end of our journey. We've already decided that the group will slowly move itself through, traveling high along the fields. At their van, the Echo Drive clutched close in her hand, DeeDee leads them to a wreck she saw once while out with her friends or perhaps her family. I could assume, but rather than doing that, I'll let her and the rest speak for themselves. Once again, friends, the scene passes to you. DeeDee, tell us how you bring us to this massive, ancient wreck of a mech, what it looks like, and what its current fate is after 200 years of lying silent.
So I think DeeDee comes to a dead stop as they're still wandering around town. It's like, oh, you know where we gotta go, guys. And looks at Bumper and goes, you know.
I do know. Yeah, we gotta go there immediately.
Yeah. And I start running out of town towards this pond. That isn't really a pond so much as a crater that's been filled with water. And it's where everybody goes to hang out and swim, but the older kids know that if you dive down, there's metal sticking up out of the middle of the pond, right? But the older kids know that if you dive down, it's not metal, it's a robot of some sort.
Whoa. Why don't you, as you all show up and begin to dive your way down, no regard to your outfit's safety or the nature of getting too wet as you dive down, of course, because you're children. Who does that?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell me, DeeDee, what sort of form is this mech? Under the waves, what lies waiting for you all?
It's a fox. And I know it's a fox because I read it in a book.
Well, in that case, why don't you tell us how this giant robotic fox looks? What's left of it? What's missing? What's damaged? What color? What shape? How large? Any of you, add description to this giant we're seeing.
I think it's on its side, and what's sticking up out of the water is its elbow. Like the haunches on the digitigrade, little limbs, and DeeDee swims out, and one foot is propped up on the chest, and so there's just this little ledge where you can sit, and she swims out and she plops down on it, and there are panels missing all over, and she can't quite hold her breath enough to go down real deep, but her sister has, and she knows that there's a big hole missing in the middle of its chest.
Beautiful. Love that. Anybody else?
I'd like to imagine this was probably one of the last kills of Fort Dexter. What created the crater was, being a fox, it's probably smaller. I imagine it more of a scout ship. And that hole in the chest is, there are still the guard towers around the town where armaments used to be. And that ship just took a shot straight to the chest. And that's how it got there.
Absolutely. Anybody else feel like adding to this scene? This reposed fox lying haunched high in the crater, a giant hole in its submerged chest.
Young local couples will come there usually at night, because at certain times of the year, the way the moon rises up over the crater, it hits one of the emerald eyes of the fox just right and almost makes it look like it glows. And it's sort of treated like a sign that they're meant to be, kind of thing.
Beautiful. Anybody else? Zombie, Lynn? What are you noticing about this place I assume you've been brought to at least once before, perhaps?
I don't know. I mean, I think I like the scene as we described it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's quite beautiful. I think, DeeDee, as you're sitting there, legs swinging at the edge, your friends all swimming out to meet you. Out of your hand, the Echo Drive glows again. 125. Jackhound. I remember him. Good fighter. Scrappy one. Didn't deserve to die like this.
What does that mean?
This what you drove?
Well, don't know how much you kids know about the war, but, well, we weren't the aggressors here. We were just farmers, mine workers, shipbuilders, just people. And sometimes, people get told to give things they don't deserve to give. Get told to sacrifice in ways they shouldn't have to. So we said no. And we fought back. Jackhound here, one of the first that signed up. Crotchety ass old man, let me tell you. When it came down to a fight, well, couldn't fight a sharper eye.
I have a quick lore question, just so
Go.
to inform the reactions. So he says we weren't the aggressors. As far as we've been taught in history classes, do we know, like, are these animal mechs and pilots, are they on our side, or are they the ones that attacked us?
I think you would all know that these are mostly these mechs are. In fact, I think if you want, ask that in character, and as like whether or not you remember it, ask it in character, and I'll have someone answer you.
Because he said they, like, Bumper kind of puts his hands over DeeDee's where the Echo Drive is, to hopefully so he can't hear us. He said they weren't the aggressors. Does that mean we were the bad guys, or is he lying and he's the bad guy?
He said he was a mercenary, not a farmer. Is he lying?
The Echo Drive crackles a little, and slowly you can hear barking laughter, like a stray dog kicked in the ribs, kind of. I told you, kids, I'm from here.
Well, I'm from here.
And you
What
should be
was your
proud.
last name?
Yeah.
Data entry not found. Huh.
Well, you don't have a name?
Guess I'm just Fennec now.
Maybe if we find his real ship, we can learn his real name.
Well, if you're near Fort Dexter, she can't be too far, but we'll get there.
Where do you need to go? Bumper
Don't worry
knows how
about
to
that.
get everywhere.
Oh,
Don't worry about that for now. I want to see what you guys have seen. But first,
I know where to take him next.
you said...
What?
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut off
No,
Foxy.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Just setting
First,
up going to the next scene.
We'll get right there. First, you said lovers come to this place, yeah?
Yeah.
DeeDee's sister comes here a lot.
That.
My sister does come here a lot. I'm not supposed to know that.
Like twice a week.
With your brother.
We followed him that one time, remember? They didn't catch us or nothing.
You did?
Yeah, we did,
Mhm.
yeah. So she said I have business, but anyway, sorry, Fennec, this is sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, lovers,
Locked
they
in.
come here.
Locked in.
You're fine, kids. Not a problem. The old man would hate that. Always just
Really?
bitter sport. Not much of a lover, as far as I knew.
Dumped?
He didn't have a special person?
I think he got dumped. Because when you
He
get
got
dumped,
No.
act really mean, and then you
Right.
then your ex yells at you how bitter you're being and how you they don't deserve you, and then they go into the room and close the door for that, and I can hear the rest of it.
No. Thankfully, it wasn't anything that complicated. No, Jack Hound had a family, as far as I know. Used to talk about him all the
Did they
time.
die?
They did.
Probably that was a long time ago.
That was a really long time ago.
The invasion went on for 3 years. First barrage
Oh.
took at least 7 towns. Leveled. Thousands dead.
That's a really big number.
Is it a big number? We haven't gotten there yet in class.
It's more than 100.
Oh.
Well then, let's not talk too much about numbers then. Huh?
I can explain it to you later, DeeDee.
Thank you.
You just keep
You're
adding
better at
zeros.
math.
That's all.
Well, oh. Lynn's better at math than I am.
It's because I'm smart.
You are.
A smart cookie, even.
That's a good one, Bumper.
Well, I heard one of the teachers say that I'm too smart for my own good.
They said that to me too. Is that why we can't sit next to each other anymore?
I think so. We're probably like super geniuses and know all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Well then, if there's nothing else, I think Fennec will take a minute and kind of just... It's hard to get what sounds like a cough through a staticky voice, but it seems like they're kind of almost trying to... Right. Well, if
Where do
there's
you want to go, Fennec? What do you want to see?
Well, you all take me there since you're the eyes. Regardless, let's let the old man get some rest, yeah? I'd say he's earned it.
Is there a body in there?
I don't think we have to find out.
You don't want me to find it?
Oh, we're
No,
gonna
we
find
should
it
probably
later. We're gonna
leave
find
it.
it later.
Okay.
It's a whole different Stephen King novel.
Right. I mean, I was trying to figure out if we were the Dairy Kids or if we were the Stand By Me Kids, and I can't figure out which ones we are yet. We've been in sewers,
Look.
and now we're looking for dead bodies.
Low column A, low column B.
We're the kids in the Overlook Hotel.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, you and I are the twins.
So, that said, where are we headed off to next?
I had an idea. You guys know how like my dad does all the like timber? Well, he said there's a restricted area where we're not supposed to go. But I went and there is a mech in there too. Maybe that's what Phoenix is. And like so he'll start to lead everybody. Like where that mountain is, you know how mountains kind of trail off and slope down into woods, he'll start leading them that way. And like there's this fenced off area in the woods, but under one section of the fence there's very clearly a hand dug hole that is exactly the size of one bumper, so everybody could fit in with it. And like going through, we eventually see this like old beat up mech that's kind of in the shape of like a silverback gorilla. Like its hands are kind of made to be like shovels, like it was an excavating unit. Because I'm kind of imagining now, like if these were farmers and mercenaries, maybe their mechs weren't immediately military ready. But like in his shoulders, like it's these big circular things, and there are like a couple pods that still have these explosive rounds left in them for what would have been like clearing out mines or rocks. But an explosive is an explosive, but because they're still active, it's like finding old World War I and II landmines where it's like, we're just not touching this. We don't have the tech to disarm it. We're just ignoring it.
Absolutely. So then, as you all come upon this massive silverback gorilla, tell me more, Bumper. Fennec asks you, what's it look like? How bad is it? What happened to it?
It's in pretty rough shape. It's a little better than the fox, but it's pretty beat up. I imagine like it's missing one arm. Like it has taken whatever caliber rounds come from a mech. I know nothing about guns or how big they're supposed to be, especially when it comes to fantasy. But it's got like shards torn through it, and it's just kind of like leaning against the ground on that one missing arm, the other one still kind of holding it up. Like it clearly died fighting.
Hmm.
The cockpit is
Anybody
empty.
else?
We're not going to find a dead body in this one.
Good. Anybody else feel like they want to add to this?
Hmm. Hmm. I think DeeDee's just chattering away at Finnick, like
He's
has
mostly
not
just
shut
listening.
up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The bigs say we're not supposed to go near this one.
Why?
Because the explosives in its shoulder haven't gone off yet.
Can we make him go off?
You probably
If
don't
you
want
want to
to.
die.
That makes as big as what
Oh.
I
I think
think
that's
it
why they
is.
don't want us.
Those things could blow off small hills. You use them to blow open mining holes, but, well, when invaders come, a weapon's a weapon.
Is that what happened to the mountain?
No. No.
Oh. Okay.
That would be like 50 bajillion of those shoulder rockets.
Oh.
Give or take.
Lynn, how many's a bajillion?
A lot of zeros.
Like more than 10?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Anybody else seeing anything about this mech they want to report to our eyeless friend?
It has welded on its back like a pole, and somehow even after such a long time, maybe it's the fabric that it's made out of, but there's a pennant that still lazily flaps in the breeze, and it's on a red field, and it's a white diamond shaped star. And Chris X
Beautiful.
will describe that to him.
14th 8th Hill 14th Brigade Hillland Dragoons. Honored served. Never found a finer group of soldiers. Even as a mercenary, there's sometimes you're proud to do what you do. And those people, well, they all died believing in something. You should all be so lucky.
And I think Zombie is going to mumble something in the general direction of the Echo Drive, but kind of as they shuffle on closer, we recognize that it's they're explaining the specific weapon models that might have caused this mech to, shut down to be destroyed. I, as a player, don't have that weapon knowledge, but yeah.
I imagine it's zombie describing a lot of like, the shape of the impact round and the burn and the blast through and sort of guessing roughly. And after a while, Fennec types up and just sounds like 2 solid hits from a pulse cannon to the center torso. You're good, kid. Can't say I know this mech, but, well, he's from my regiment, so I would have served beside him at some point. Who knows what he believed in, what he thought about, what he died thinking of.
Do, do all mechs have a thing in it like you? Maybe we can find that and find out what he thought about.
Echo drives are stored locally on their starship. They're supposed to stay dormant for a long time after, well, once the pilot goes offline. You guys were lucky enough to find mine out there. They should have been stasis locked. I don't think we're gonna find anything here, but memories.
Are you made of memories?
All people are made of memories, kid.
Oh Oh, she's right. We are.
But are you made of? So you're made of memories that's trapped in a box.
Think about it. Every person is everyone else's memories, collected together. We are the way people remember us. Stories that get told about us when we left this world. Each of us, each of you, is a story yet to be told. And the people who
So
meet
How
you,
do
who face you, will sing it when you're gone, if you're lucky.
how do people remember you?
If I'm lucky, they might just not.
but we remember you now.
Were you bad? You won't answer us.
I don't think war has a good and bad. Some people on my side fought because this was their home. Some of us fought because it was the right thing to do. Some of us fought because money was hard, and an invasion meant an easy chance to get some profit and keep a family alive. None of those people were me. Regardless, good and bad doesn't matter when people start dying.
Well, it matters
Davis said
because
no one won.
Do you like cookies? What's your favorite one?
Can't say I have a solid memory of what food was like right now, but. And he kind of loses himself for a brief bit. There's a sweet cake made up north. Honey, clothering. They glaze it over and put these elderberries in the side and inside and upper parts of it. The inside is a pastry filling, and she always loved them.
Who?
Tell me, are there any not animal-looking mechs around here?
I know where there's some.
Why don't we go ahead and take ourselves over there first?
As we're going, DeeDee's gonna chatter about how her Grammy used to make those cookies.
You'll find that while it's really hard to tell because Fennec doesn't seem to respond a lot when you start kind of blabbering at him, something about the way the static doesn't crackle as much. It's almost as if they're listening a bit more attentively as you talk about this. Just silently absorbing.
Oh, she always talked about her handsome soldier.
She was a little kid when the war ended.
That's what they told you.
So,
Chrisick's dad has to go out into the surrounding countryside from time to time. Generally, he's either looking for scrap or marking down a new wreckage when someone finds one. So, like, he would be involved in whoever would have flagged this one as don't go near it. you know. And his dad has taken him out on these trips with him from time to time when they didn't have any other place for me to be. And it's not that far from this one, but it's sort of hidden away in like a little, sort of like a valley that you can't really see until you're right on top of it. And it's the remains of an old town. It's been long abandoned. The architecture is mostly stone and marble, sort of in the Roman style. Opulent, but not in a greedy way, opulent in a sophisticated way. That at one point there was a culture here that made great things. Most of the buildings are falling in on themselves and not entirely due to time, because when we get into the center of town, there is a crab-shaped mech, and it's sort of been dug into the ground. Like on purpose, like it was there in wait to fire and move to the next position. And it's been holed out. There's a huge gash right through the center of it. And there's another crab-shaped mech in a similar position around the square. In the middle of the square, there is another one of the gorilla mechs. And entwined with it is a mech that's shaped more like a human, but with no actual visible face, sort of like a blank slate where a face should be, black with a red hand logo on it. And those two mechs, the gorilla and the man, have run each other through with their various weapons, and they died entwined.
Blissful, beautiful, marvelous. I'm seeing it all in front of me. It's all right there. It's beautiful. So, as you all move through this mostly empty town, slowly approaching through what looks to be a ruined scene of battle of some kind, what else do you guys notice here? As the air almost begins to shift a little, the distant birds begin to sound just a bit more distant. The wind a bit harsher. The air here quiet, reverent almost. What else do you feel in this place? What else do you see? What else do you say?
I think that there's like well, for us, we would be able to tell that it looks like maybe there was some kind of crater made from this force of this, but to Lynn, maybe they look like just fun places to climb.
All right then. I'm assuming you're gonna go ahead and start climbing then, Lynn, won't you? Lynn, you start climbing. You angle yourself over the massive arm of this humanoid mech. The right arm of it given over at the elbow to a massive cannon of some kind. The barrel literally bent and warped as if it fired so many rounds. The heat simply bent the metal. You climb up and over, and as the rest of you begin to slowly join, following your quickly clambering friend, what other things do you find in this scene, in this place?
I do think to get here, we had to just on the outskirts of this town, where there seems to be some kind of plaque that I don't think any of us ever bothered to read. For those of us who can read, I don't know what the literacy level is in the group, but there's a plaque of some kind, and there is this tiny hut that we had to sneak past because there's a single person here. There's some kind of sign that says something about some heritage site guided tours, but it's an absolutely like decrepit old thing, and there's this old woman in the hut just snoring on midday, just absolutely conked out. And I think we kind of like snuck under the counter, the ticket counter essentially, because she's like the one living soul in this place.
One of the half-ruined walls in the back of the square, someone has driven spikes into it, and from those spikes hang hundreds of dog tags.
Maybe somewhere near there in the rubble. Bumper kind of finds something. He picks up this old like jacket, not off of a corpse, but like he picks it up and kind of shakes off all the dust from the rubble. And there's some insignia. This was not a high-ranking guy. This was just a simple, another private. You can see there's a burnt hole like right through where the heart would be. Bumper just kind of looks at it, trying to like, my dad has something like this from his uncle or his uncle's uncle. And it's just kind of like the first time for Bumper that all of these stories of war and what Fennec has been telling them is sort of real. Like he's seen a survivor's jacket that made it back, but now it's like, oh, these actually are like people died.
Funny thing about war, kid, the people who start it usually aren't the ones that fight it.
Where are the people that started?
They're gone. Long gone. One of you guys asked earlier who won this war. I don't think anybody did. A lot of people lost it, though.
But then why did they start it?
Some would say empire. I'd say it's the smartest thing you've ever said, kid.
And nobody's ever said that to me before.
Bumper, you're smart.
Yeah. You're one of the smartest
You know-
people.
You always
know where
know
all
where
the
to
best stuff
go.
is.
Well, that I am what it says called street smart.
Well, yeah, smart.
I've also had 7 concussions. One for
What's
every
the
birthday.
concussion?
It's the thing Lynn almost got.
It's when you bump your noggin on something.
Oh.
And then everything comes real fuzzy.
I think it's as you're all walking through this, you start hearing distantly, less clearly than you could hear Fennec's voice, as if a reflection of a reflection. Other voices come across, well, it's Echo Drive's voice, speaker. They're crackled, panicked, tired, all of them. We're pinned down out here. Not a lot of time left and not a lot of space to make work. First Division and I will hold here. The Lancers are already down in 3rd Sector, and, well, they'll... Fennec, you know she's out there. So, you know what this means. We'll hold the line here, and you at least go make something worth it. Yeah? Hey, man, you know that means I probably shut up. We're not doing that. Get out of here. Take that down. And I'll see you here when you get back. Don't say shit like that, man. You know it. I'll see you soon. Yeah? Just be safe out there, moron. And the voice slowly kind of crackles out and away. Back to that same low static you were all hearing beforehand.
Who was that?
A friend.
Are they dead too?
Like,
Is that how you died?
no. I didn't die here. I probably should have.
I think I know that voice.
You do?
And then kind of turn to the echo drive. Do you want to go talk to my grandpa?
Sam told me I probably should. Sounds like that might be a solid move for us to slide over to our next scene. Yes? Well.
Alright.
Take us in, zombie.
So, yeah. The journey goes away from this kind of valley that we're in, towards the sea. Where it takes a little bit. We have to cross some hills, but soon enough we see the coastline kind of stretch out in front of us. And I think here especially, I feel like this is maybe a bit more of a rugged coast, and I think here especially there's, in the distance you see, if you know what to look for, you see more and more signs of kind of artificial structures poking out of the water, clearly remnants of battles here. But I think as we walk along the beach, we soon see the kind of unmistakable sight of I think mostly humanoid mech that is in the somewhat submerged in the water, but close enough to the beach itself that it seems to be in a kind of like a kneeling, like on one knee kind of pose, with one of its arms is missing. The other arm is outstretched with an open hand, so that the hand is essentially lies like connects with the beach. Palm face up, and it's missing a head. The head is just gone. So it's this one-armed, headless silhouette there, kneeling there, arm on the beach. And as we approach the site, we can see that, and I think the rest of you know that Zombie isn't from the city of Dexter. And as we get close to the site, we pass just next to there's like a little hut there on the beach, and just next to that hut, there's a couple gravestones, and walking past those, Zombie goes to this kind of like, I guess it's also just kind of like a box. I guess we're just talking about boxes when we talk about echo drives, but this kind of like clearly some kind of like terminal feature of that mech that has been, carried onto the beach, onto the dry land, and sits down in front of it and plugs the aux cable, I guess, of their headphones into the box, and says, "Hey, Grandpa, I'm back. It's Eli." And I don't know if we hear necessarily. I think maybe we can let our pilot hear what's happening once we connect them. But I'm not sure if any of the other children necessarily hear what's on the headphones, unless you want to.
We all just like press our heads up
personally-
against Eli so we can hear the headphones.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
I
his
think-
name was Eli.
I think personally, to get some more fun interactions with Zombie Eli, as it were, I think Fennec can't hear the voice through the headphones and has to almost use Eli as their kind of go between.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Well, what we hear is, I think for most of the kids, as we listen, for a couple minutes, it becomes very clear that this is not like a live voice that we listen to. This is some kind of snippet of a recording. The quality is extremely bad, like way more static than what we hear from our pilot. But there's we can distinctly hear at first one voice, which I think, though, I mean, Foxy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the first voice is maybe the same that we just heard in the previous site, yelling something like, "No, you got incoming. You have to get out of there," and just kind of commands like that. Fall back in line. Fall back in formation. We have to get out of here. You can't. This zone is a dead zone at this point. And we have another voice that goes, "Man, I have family here. I can't. You can't take me back. I'm done with this." And it's kind of that kind of back and forth for a while, until it's just that second voice, I think. And yeah, I think in my kind of imagination, I think that second voice kind of maybe has started some kind of like last audio diary of some kind. And it's in between the kind of the quiet moments of that diary that Eli every so often essentially almost like responds to it, even though this isn't an actual dialogue. But yeah, it's situations like the voice maybe saying something like, "Well, it's a pretty miserable day today. but I think the thick cloud cover might make it easy for me to get away. And Eli would just say like, yeah, it's pretty miserable today for us too. And it's that kind of back and forth.
I think Fennec just listens for a long while, almost reverently, quietly, letting you speak with what's clearly the last piece you have of someone important to you. It's as you kind of slowly move through this conversation, a lot of good people gave everything they had to keep things that were important to them safe. A lot of people chose to die before seeing it taken. War takes everything from us, rips us of who we are. The best thing you can do is tear back who you are with tooth and claw, hold it in bloody hands, and beg the universe to let you be recognized as a human one last time before the lights go dark. An old man told me that once, before I left him his platoon there to die. On his orders.
I think there would be a faded photo attached to like a console. You could just barely see the it's faded to really really kind of light sepia, so you could just barely see the outlines of a couple of figures in the photo. And there's writing on the back, but that's also faded because of just age and exposure. Clearly it was
Have
very
you?
important.
To have your last thoughts be family. Be the ones you love. The voice kind of crackles again, and you can hear, just gently in the staticky background, waves lapping at the side of the coast of bluffs and sand shores. Not too dissimilar from what you can hear just behind the imposing mech you're all standing in front of. A voice speaks, one you know familiar, though there's less edge, less fatigue to it. This place used to be something beautiful, you know that? It still is, another voice speaks. When you find things to hold close. Oh. And what if those things don't feel like being held too tight? What if they run when things get scary? Then you get lucky. You leash them down to something important. And if you don't, you remind them why they shouldn't run from everything. You know what happens when I see you next, right? Yeah, I do. And that's it then. No last words or anything? Well, if I have to be dramatic, I guess I just... Should we all be so lucky, I guess? Fennec's voice says, back in the present. Sorry. I guess my memories aren't as quiet as they used to be.
Who was that?
Someone I should forget.
But what do you want to forget?
Tell you what, kids. You've given me a whole bunch today. Can you see a mountain off in the distance? Not the huge one, but a smaller one just to its left.
Yeah.
Chris
There's an old pair.
holds up both of his hands before he decides which one to left. Yes.
DeeDee reaches over and taps his left hand.
There's an old pair of mechs up there. One of them should look a little bit similar. Another one not so much. Any of you know them?
Bumper can find anything.
I can find them, but I haven't heard of them before.
You haven't?
No,
Sounds like you
Dad
just
doesn't
might
let
have,
me
Lynn.
go up in the mountains. I can't climb lush on my own.
Yeah, I think I know one of them where it is.
Well, if it ain't too much for an old soul to ask, mind making one last stop before we get this over with?
Only if you answer a question.
When we get there, I will. I promise.
I'm not supposed to show you that, so don't tell anybody that I showed you.
Our little secret.
I like secrets.
Gonna cost you a cookie.
He's
Okay,
dead.
but
He can't give us cookies.
Lynn will give you a cookie as she towards the mountain.
Chrisix does a little
So
happy
then.
dance and waves it in front of DeeDee's face. Thank you.
So then, Lynn, as you take the lead, the smallest of the group, taking the last leg of the journey, we bring ourselves towards our final scene. As described, there are a pair of mechs, one familiar, one not so much. I see you've already put a bit of an idea for what one of them looks like in chat, so try to kind of leave that space open for you. So,
Okay.
why don't you go ahead and tell us, as we approach, what these two last wrecks look like as you approach them?
One of them is kind of large, like a bird form. You see a lot of black, but the black is soot because this mech has been completely burned out. It's just a shell of a mech, basically. It's been burned from the outside, it's been burned from the inside. Um, Even though it's been a long time, the air around it is still dark and heavy. And Lynn seems to have been up here a lot, and she just kind of points out where the wings were, or where they are, but um, where she thinks the pilot area was. This is the
And
secret that I don't tell anybody about.
And Lynn, as you round the corner, coming up over the ledge to finally see this imposing but decrepit figure of this massive avian bird-like mech hunched over, you realize now, with this new position that you come up, that it's not a pile of rocks or anything like that the mech is hunched over. This mech is hunched over another mech. And as you slowly come up and around the bend, the Echo Drive, which has been lightly glowing a soft blue this whole time, the color in it begins to shift just a bit towards a very, very light teal as you approach that other fallen mech. So why don't we could say anybody can throw in here, but Lynn, feel free to start us off if you'd like. What's this other mech? This other mech which appears to resonate with this Echo Drive you've carried with you for so long. What's it look like? What's its fate?
Oh man. I'm gonna let someone else do the other mech, please.
Okay.
DeeDee?
It's humanoid. But it's like a stocky, like, oh god, I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like I can't remember the movie, but there's like this stocky little robot with like a dome head. And it's got fingers and everything. Like it's way more humanoid, and it's a little smaller than the other mech. But it is still got paint on it, and like this, like paint where like different things were painted on it and then scraped off, and then painted on and scraped off, like different unit signifiers were put on and then taken off over the years.
There is still paint on the center of the chest, and it's a three-tailed fox.
There you go.
There it is.
But I do think DeeDee is just staring down at it like it's glowing differently. Why is it glowing differently?
I never saw this part before.
I like to imagine that, unlike the other scenes where these mechs were caught in parts of other battles and like you could see where the skirmish happened, these two, like given where they are, this shouldn't have been a fight. This was a completely personal match between these two pilots. There was no one else involved in this fight. I see what Foxy's building. I know what juice to give him.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
The talons of the bird mech have gone through the other one and have pinned it to the ground.
Oh yeah, like the claws. One claw has it pinned up, but it
Yeah.
has its like one free hand on its like where the cockpit would be at the neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, there's something wrong.
What's wrong?
He's different.
I shouldn't have taken you
What's
here.
different?
No, it's
I-
fine. He's fine.
No, my mom said never take anyone here because something very bad happened.
I'm gonna be honest. I think we're all a little different after this.
Yeah. From what Fennec says, things bad happened everywhere.
Yeah, but she's
Minute.
gonna be really mad at me when it's
No,
like
we won't
Well,
tell.
you won't be
We
mad. We
won't
promise.
tell.
Yeah, everybody, pinky in. No telling.
Zombie, come on. Pinkies. Thank you.
And
But
Bubba will
not
be
Dead
sure to
Mouse
like
hand, please.
put the pinky around the Echo Drive too, so Fennec also can't lie or
Yeah.
can't tell anybody about this.
Fennec,
You don't
the
have
pinky
pinkies, Fennec,
promise
but
too.
you're
You can't
included.
lie. Yeah.
she said, it was
Don't you worry, kids. I don't think I'll be telling anybody about what we all see here.
There's a fox on the little mech.
Yeah, I thought there might be.
Is it yours?
Something about. He takes a long pause. Something about war makes you petty. Makes you want to hit back in any way you can. I had another mech, a fox like the one you saw back in the river from Jackhound. That's where I got my name. One day, we got lucky on a raid. A lot of people died. We came out of it with 4 of these things. Advanced Type 4 heavy cataphracts. Enemy mechs. Latest technology, best possible weapons. We started hitting them back. Started hitting them good. So it got personal. Started hiring mercenaries out. The best rates they could. Even local ones. The war was bad. And things were bad before then. A lot of us wanted any way off planet. A lot of us took that deal. Felt good to be hitting them back with the thing they took from us already. This, though. This didn't feel all that good.
What is this?
Was
Your
it
special
girlfriend?
someone?
She was.
What was her name? You promised.
You did. We heard you.
Several times.
it might make them too sad.
Promise.
For
is a
the war.
promise.
For the war, when we barely had a few militia corps, only a few of those scrapped animal mechs you could see. Her unit called her Greyhound. Probably the best shot you could find around here. But those claws, oh man. The war got messy, though. Things got messy between people. And it turns out, when you have enough of a reason, you'll do just about anything to keep that reason safe. I should blame her. I should.
Do you blame yourself instead?
For not going with her sometimes. For not killing her sooner other times.
What was her name?
Maria.
All of you could just see DeeDee's eyes go wide.
It pauses for a
Okay,
long...
DeeDee.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Guys, my grandma's mommy's name was Maria.
I know.
You see Chrisick counting on his fingers trying to go back that far.
So my Grammys. So my grandma's mama was my Grammy. She died, but her mama was Maria.
And she died too.
Yeah, during the war.
Yeah.
And DeeDee's just looking up at the bags.
Don't tell that I took you here.
He won't tell.
We pinky promise. That's fine.
We pinky promise. Those are forever.
But I don't.
Or
I think this is one of those things we're not supposed to know about until we're older.
oh, okay.
Like the
Hi,
baby
DeeDee.
factory.
Well, I know about the baby factory.
It's not.
It's not a baby factory. You guys are silly.
Hey, DeeDee, was it?
Yeah.
Your family spend any time off-world?
My Grammys was from off-world.
Well, suppose that settles that then, yeah?
What does that mean?
Means kids. This one here is mine.
The bird one?
No,
Oh.
that was hers.
The fox one.
Are
So-
you DeeDee's great grandpa?
Are you my great grandpa?
Fennec doesn't answer. The static is again silent, as if they're just kind of quietly listening.
When adults don't answer and go quiet, that's a yes.
Or they don't know. Sometimes
Or
you
they
don't know.
don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know who the father is. I kind of eavesdropped some stuff about other people.
As the quiet rolls on for a while, eventually, you find yourself getting what looks or feels or sounds like an answer. It comes through clear, far clearer than even the crackly voice of Fennec as it's come to you beforehand. Not, however, a voice at first. It's a sound. Staccato pop, pop. Steady crackle. A roiling thunder. Constant boom of explosion in the background. Gunfire and whirling servos. Battle cries screamed and last words yelled across dying comms. A battle rages in the background. And then there's a silence. Just the rolling quiet of the battlefield all around you. Before long, voice finally ordains to speak. So, all this just to die right here? You say that like it's a bad thing. Like you haven't been wanting this all this time. I didn't want any part of this. And you know it. You run from everything you want. So I knew that. The crackle cuts back over and it's quiet for a long while.
Everybody just staring
They're
at
taking a
DeeDee.
cookie.
What? Why are you
Chris is
looking
eating
at
his
me?
cookie by like turning it around, like eating around the edges.
Why is everybody looking at me? Zombie, do I have something on my face?
It's because it's your great grandma.
She was the bird person.
Oh. Oh.
And I think your great grandma was Fennec's special person.
So we're looking at you because you have to talk about it.
But I don't know anything. Grammy didn't say anything.
She didn't tell you any stories or anything?
She was really little when the war happened.
My mom tells me stories about war, and my grandma told me.
Grammy didn't like to talk about it. She was an orphan. Oh, that's because they died here.
Yeah.
Takes a long while, but slowly but surely, the battle sound began to cut back in. The crackling roar of gunfire and movement all around. From the way the voices appear to move back and forth, you can tell they, and likely their machines, are in motion. I want to say I get it, but I can't say that I get it. All this, all that time, all these dead, just to turn on it. Right now, why? You know exactly why. You saw what they were offering. You saw what it meant. What it could mean to someone like us after everything we've been through. This is our home, Maria. People we love have died for this place. And you would join with invaders for money, for a chance. Not just for me. And you know that. So what then? You kill me and run off of this planet, find somewhere off world and forget all of this happened? Or I kill you and pretend I haven't just let go of the one thing I still had left, the one thing I still wanted to fight for. Are you going to fight? That is. You hear a servo shift. You know that I have to. It crackles back away again, and it's quiet. Stupid thing about war is it always gets personal, even when it shouldn't.
Here, DeeDee, you can have the rest of my cookies.
I'm okay.
No, it's okay. You can have them. You deserve them.
I don't think I want to eat anything. Thank you. What happened, Fennec?
Well, after the offers got good enough, lots of people signed on to fight for their side. Lots of good people.
I don't care about that. What happened here?
They died.
Well, yeah,
We
but
fought.
did they kill each other?
Don't you
That's
see the
not
big
nice.
fire where there was a huge, probably explosion? My mom said it was probably an explosion.
The invaders fired Kineticus 1, a massive super heavy artillery weapon directly at the planet's center. A massive mountain that's a lot smaller than it should be. We fought right here, the day before it happened. She was safeguarding the controls for the weapon. And was told, a single detonation, one test fire in an unpopulated area, and we'd surrender. We'd capitulate. She thought it would be a quick end to the war. The bloodshed. War isn't the kind of thing that ends. Not cleanly.
So neither of you walked away and you left my Grammy alone.
From what I gather, the last thing I remember was taking a swing with my left arm grabbing some part of her mech. Something sharp pierced my cockpit and my rib cage. And before it all went dark, someone primed a self-destruct. Maybe she got out. Maybe she didn't. Doesn't matter now. It sounds to me like your grandma grew up off planet, somewhere away from how hard this place used to be to live on. If anybody won this war, I'd say it was her.
My dad used to say she was a mean bitch. That's a word I'm not supposed to say.
I won't tell
He
anybody.
said when he went to ask her if he could marry my mom, she slapped him. And then said yes. But after she slapped him.
That means she really liked them.
Really?
Yeah.
She was mean to him.
Yeah. That means she really, really liked them a lot.
Oh. Mom likes him. He's okay. He's goofy.
Well, sounds to me like 200 years out, even with all the death and destruction, there's still enough life on this planet for it to be worth something. You, all of you, you're proof of that.
What happens if we stick you back in the mech? Do you, like, come alive?
No.
Tell you what, why don't each of you tell me your favorite thing about this planet? Your favorite thing about the place you live? Then you can go ahead and put me in that drive right there, or that slot right there in the cockpit. And we'll find out together.
Okay.
Go on. Don't be shy. Your favorite thing. Just one.
I used to like coming here with my mom.
Oh? And why is
We
that?
would look at the sun rising or setting, and she would draw draws lots of pictures of the way the view looks. Sometimes
That's
she
beautiful.
paint, but they're always gray up here. But other views are sometimes different colors, all the flowers or the reds and golds and purples of the sun setting and rising, greens of the grass and blues of all the water. Wish I could show you.
Well, I hate that I can't see it. The fact that you can't means we all died for something. And that might be enough for me.
I like my friends. Even DeeDee.
Ah. What'd I do?
You're my best friend, so of course,
Oh. You're stinky, Chris's.
You know you are, but what am I?
Stinky.
you're not allowed to be mean to DeeDee today.
No. That's my dead great-great-grandpa and grandma. You can't be mean.
Okay. He hands you his cookie.
I don't want to eat cookies.
The half-eaten cookie.
Just the outside edge. He's like spinning it around like a wheel.
It's a circle, so that's just all of the cookie. I love sometimes that Mr. Gershwin catches me doing it, but I like that he lets me have as many snappers as I want. Like, I imagine this being an old military outpost, there's just so much stored gunpowder. So, like, snappers for kids are so cheap to make that he might as well give them away.
Mm-hmm.
Are they basically
In fact-
M80s?
Well, no, there are also M80s, but I'm talking like just the little paper wads where you throw them on the ground and they go tap.
Yeah.
Like Bumper's like, oh gosh, I'm just tap.
Yeah, Bumper. Zombie, what's your favorite thing?
I like the Earth because that's where everyone goes, and so that's where they're all waiting for us.
Yeah.
My mom's gonna know we were up here. I need to make sure everything's put back.
She won't know. We're not gonna say anything.
Hey, she always knows.
They're not even going to
Well, then
start
I'll
looking
just
for
start
us until this.
crying, and then
Come on.
she'll get distracted.
Okay.
Okay,
Cry really, really hard too.
I can do that. Like,
Okay.
my sister taught me how to cry on command. It's so much fun. It makes Dad nervous.
You're a funny little batch of kids, you know that?
Yeah, we've been told that before.
I've been called a menace.
My mom just kind of sometimes shakes at me and just shakes her head, and sometimes under her breath she says, "Where did that child come from?"
Dad just says I'm mostly Skull.
Do you too?
Oh, I didn't say my favorite thing.
What is it, DeeDee? What is your favorite thing?
I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't think I do either.
It's all kind of cool.
Just because I'm your favorite thing.
Yeah, that's right. Lynn's my favorite. That's right.
Oh.
Like, yeah, because I can't have a favorite thing if I have a favorite person, and Lynn's my favorite person.
Well, hear an argument from me. All right. Here's the deal. It should be a slot right down in the middle of the cockpit, just beneath the throne rest.
Okay.
Echo drive should fit right in. Place it,
Okay.
and, step back a bit.
Okay.
DeeDee, you do it, DeeDee.
Okay. I'll climb up, and I'll like go to climb in, and then stick my head back out and go, Zombie, you're my second favorite person. I like this mouse. And then stick the drive into the little slot.
You slot the Echo drive into the slot, and briefly, all the light on it dims, and then blossoms, spreads about the cockpit for a brief moment, glittering it in light. At that point, you all remember you were told to step back.
No.
Absolutely not. I'm sitting in the cockpit.
Well, then, as you sit in the cockpit, and the rest of you staying clambered around it in various places,
I'm trying to
the
peek in to
ground.
see where my friend is.
Well, as you all sit in, Lynn peeking over to see DeeDee in the cockpit, Chris is kind of climbing over to the low, upper, sort of like middle of the thigh, hip area. Bumper kind of finding his place in the middle of the chest area, kind of sit themselves in. And Zombie ambled along one of the feet, kind of sit around just around the knee area. The ground beneath all of you begins to rumble, just slightly. That's it.
Normal.
Come on. That's it. Slowly, just gently, shaking increases. Small rocks fall to your left and right, none of them striking you, but falling all around you. As slowly but surely, the chest of the mech begins to lurch forward. That fox symbol catching the late sunlight. Come on. Come on, old girl. We got this. The mech shifts, lifts. DeeDee, you begin to rise. can see all around you the mountain peer up and up and up until it passes away. And there's a low, rolling hill of planes and destroyed mechs and the scars of a war long past. And above that, a horizon line lit by amber orange sunlight, tinged by clouds of purple and blue and violet and a million different shades in between. As you all come up, the mech's hand, the one not covered by a weapon, but open with his hand exposed, holding Lynn in it, begins to lift forward, as if cradling the sun in his hand. That's it, girl. That's the future. Then everything goes quiet. Dims. Power slowly beginning to leave the mech as it becomes a stationary, stalwart statue, one hand lifted towards a high sunlight.
How are we going to get her down?
She climbed down the arm.
Been climbing all game.
I feel like
You should check
Lynn-
for his dog tags in there.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like
real name.
Lynn and DeeDee are those kids where their parents, when they look for them, are not looking at eye level, they're looking up.
Yeah.
Because I was that kid. So, yeah, I'll look around the cockpit for dog tags.
You don't find dog tags immediately. You do find a small compartment hanging down, clearly torn open from where the top of the talon tore into the cockpit. Hanging from it is a small necklace with a pendant hanging down in the shape of a dog tag, but it's rough, carved, not stamped. On one side, as you've reached for it and grab it, scratched in with what looks like a knife blade done multiple times over and over, is the word Fennec. On the backside, as you flip it over, you see not carved with a knife, but almost chiseled with a fine tool, with an artist's hand, a hand that clearly wasn't Fennec's. An insignia. Hair of dueling beasts, one rising high and swirling over, wings bared, phoenix ascendant. The other, curling under it, fangs high, claws bared, and eyes perceptive. An onyx black fox, the two dueling behind a beautiful sun. The Echo Drive speaks one last time. Thank you, all of you.
I'm gonna call you Pop Pop.
You don't get a response.
DeeDee, I like your fox, Daddy.
It's not my daddy.
I don't. Out of
Dad's
character,
at
don't like that
home.
with our storyteller being Foxy.
Jason knows what they did.
Thank you for showing us all of this.
Yeah. Well, thank you for knowing where to go. You guys knew where to go to get all the little story bits. Make him
Yeah.
talk.
I wasn't supposed to tell you all.
But we're not gonna say anything.
He's going to know I'm going to be in so much trouble.
You're not.
I think he promised.
No.
Well, whenever I'm not grounded anymore, I'll just follow you all and we can play again.
Well, maybe we convince your mom to come over for dinner. She can't leave you home unless you come over for dinner. And you can't be grounded if you're home with hanging out with me.
She might not. She does. She just likes to draw all the time.
Well, yeah.
But she still has to eat dinner.
Lynn, you want to know a secret?
What?
Mom and Dad think your mom's cute.
They do?
Yeah.
You got to set them up.
We gotta set him up. Then you can be my sister and you could be a better sister than my sister.
Yeah.
Because she sucks.
I'm jealous. And then I won't get in trouble for this.
Yeah. Because you're family.
Yeah.
You already are family, though.
Yeah, I wonder how my mom knew about this place.
That's weird. We should ask after we sure we're not going to get in trouble. Are you guys okay? That was a sad story.
Yeah, Bumper kind of like detached from where he was hanging on when the mech stood up and has started making a makeshift grave. This was a big day, and I don't know if we should bury the Echo Drive. We don't have enough rocks to bury the mech, but we should do something.
I think we can leave it. I think it's okay.
I don't know. I just kind of want to mark it.
Well, the mech is a big marker.
Yeah, I don't know. We're too young for tattoos, so we can't get the fox. I don't know. I want to do something. And I would do like a blood pact with the sharp parts of the mech, but I literally just got my tetanus shot last week, and I don't want to do that again.
Oh, yeah, no, those are no fun. I had to get mine a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I'll leave him my friends. And he pulls out 3 frogs out of his little pouch and a small, like, field mouse and a chipmunk.
Where did you get a
He
mouse
just
for
lets him loose.
zombie?
No, he's got a mouse. I got a mouse for me.
Oh.
Wait, hold on.
Now he's
I
for
have
Fennec.
it.
He's Fennec's mouse now.
You know foxes eat mice, right? Like,
Lots of things eat mice.
Do you eat
They're
mice?
prey- Mom says they're a prey animal.
yeah.
I don't think mice prey. They're not very religious.
Well, she said they're a prey animal.
They Prey, Bumper. EY means get eaten.
No, that's
AY
EAT.
AY means amen.
AY means hope I don't get eaten.
That too.
So does the prey pray?
Literally how I was
The prey may
those
pray.
words as a kid.
The
Any,
prey may pray.
My mom
Any
told
sort
me
of
that. Sorry.
any kind of no, you're fine. Any closing sort of last thoughts to kind of pass ourselves away on?
I will
Lynn,
say. Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
That Lynn does realize that there's a lot of soot, and so she tries to clear away some of the blackness from the phoenix's body, mech body, just to kind of show the bright red of the paint. Not much of it is left, but some of it does shine through, and she seems a little satisfied after that.
On the side of the phoenix, as you brush away its chest plate just a little, you can see etched into a groove on the side, small enough that no one who was close enough than like literally riding on this thing will be able to see it. You can see something, once again, etched in very neatly with sort of stenciling tool almost, with an artist's hand. A phrase. 3 simple words. Goodbye, my fox. And I think with that, we find ourselves a solid place to pass ourselves away from the evening. Unless there are any other closing thoughts we'd like to give.
I say like much in the kid movie way, Bumper becomes obsessed with like finding a way to mark this for everybody. So I think he would eventually steal like 5 blank dog tags and carve in little fox faces on them for each of us.
Oh,
We're the fox cubs.
great.
Yeah.
Oh.
DeeDee becomes obsessed with figuring out how to make all the mechs work again.
As they leave the little mountain scene, Chrisix will look back as the setting sun, lights the remains in like fire, and he'll think about all the times he played soldier in war, and he decides that he doesn't want to do that anymore.
Don't you forget about me. Don't.
Zombie, any closing thought from you? The group's quiet, well, I'd say quiet mouse, but that feels a little too on brand.
I think I don't think much changes for Eli, with the exception that they now every so often, maybe once a week or so, will go back to this site in the mountains, and also just kind of sit there quietly with the headphones plugged into the console. Whether they actually hear anything there, we won't know, but yeah, they just spend the evening just sitting there.
And because of all of that, Mom is going to know. Just so you all know. She's going to know.
Well, the fate of Lynn's parents aside, there are certain nights, not all the time, but rarely, when you plug your earphones into the cockpit and you listen just quietly enough, you don't hear a voice. You don't hear two voices. You hear a myriad, many, a chorus of songs from across the planet, farmers, workers, soldiers, and more, singing a song of freedom, of rebellion, of rising up and fighting and dying for a thing you believe, the people you believe in. And every now and then, on the occasional night, when the wind carries it just right, you can hear that song swing high above the mountains, up to a brilliant, starlit sky. And I think it's in that sky we find our exit for the night. Friends, I've been Young Foxy. This has been my incredible cast, who will introduce themselves in just a moment. And we have been a quiet after war. So, in the order that I call you out, please tell me who you are, who you played this evening, where you can be found on the internet, and how you feel about our little romp through Echo tonight. So, starting off over at the directly under me, but so far from the bottom of anyone's cast list, making their Neon Lights debut, it is of course the one and the only Graphical Ronin.
Hi, I'm Graphical Ronin. On Twixter, I'm JJSYNN, but most people call me Jason. I am a graphic designer and illustrator. I love TTRPGs, and I love streaming them with cool new friends, like all of you. I can be found on Discord as graphical_Ronin as well. I'm in a bunch of streams coming up this month for some odd reason. I do one every Friday on Ruinous Paths D&D. It's like 5.5 E. It's kind of weird. I'll be right back on Lost Caravan for our ongoing Lancer campaign on Monday. And then starting the next 3 Fridays, I'll be in High Shelf Collective's Mass Effect hack, which I'm going to have to look up some lore because I've never actually played Mass Effect.
Oh, I wish you luck
Other
on your
than
lore
that-
journey, friend.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for letting me make your Neon Lights debut. It was a pleasure having you, and I will hopefully not be the last time I sit at a table with you.
Oh, yeah.
Sliding
I
our
loved every
way-
second of this. This is a great system.
I'm so glad. Thank you. This is a great time. Sliding our way to the bottom left of the overlay to a mainstay at this point on the Neon Lights roster. I'm, of course, talking about the one and the only DJ Steve Asaurus. How you doing, love?
A mainstay? Me? Anyways, yeah, DJ Stevosaurus. You can find me on Twitter under that alias. Also go by Steven. And yeah, you'll find me popping up here and there around Neon Lights and Lost Caravan. Just getting life back in order, so I haven't been streaming for a bit. This is one of the first ones I've done in a while, so expect to see more of me. That is both a threat and a promise. On that, as far as this game goes, I regret locking in because then it got way sadder. I have earphones in, so like in those emotional moments, all I could hear is Foxy getting serious and my own breathing. And so it's all of a sudden very much more tense. And I'm like, I need to make a joke or I'm going to die.
Oh. Well, thank you for rocking with emotions. I hope it was a good time overall. You were incredible to have, and I'm glad to have you back in Neon Lights. Hopefully, again, it's not the last time.
Oh, it
Slinging
won't
around
be.
the bottom of our... Well, that makes me happy. Swinging around the bottom of our plate, someone who is rapidly becoming, I guess, as you'd say, a regular face as of recent events on the Lights Roleplay. I'm, of course, talking about the one and only John East.
Thank you very much. Yep. I'm John. I played Eli, or Zombie as they were known amongst the rest of the group. You can basically find me on the Neon Lights Discord server. You can find my games on john-east.itch.io. I'll also be back online next Tuesday. Tuesday's when we're playing, right? Like, for some reason, I'm mixing up weekdays. Yes, next Tuesday. Nice. For the penultimate episode of Until Stars Collapse, our other mech game where I play a different kind of orphan. And I don't know why this is becoming a pattern now, but yeah, it's that. I really like Echo. I've had this game in my collection for like many years now, so it's nice to actually finally get the chance to play it.
I agree, John. I am loving playing with you every time that I do it, and I think you always bring a unique, very human touch to these characters that you play, so I appreciate your place in these games, and thank you very much for doing that. I cannot wait to play with you again in less than a week. It's going to be awesome. Swinging over again to the bottom right of the overlay, but once again, anywhere far from the bottom of anybody's castles, if you know it's good for you. I'm talking about the internet's one and only sensation. Of course, that's Janie Potts. Hi, darling.
Hi, I'm Janie. I played Lynn tonight. I am Janie Potts, or Janie Potts 7575 on social media. And I think I play is it Sunday on Singularity? For Breaking Neon.
Yeah, I think.
And then I'm here again next week. And I have a finale of a game on Monday on Nerds with Dice of my Monster of the Week mini campaign. And I
love
will
a good finale.
Be popping up other places because I'm just going to keep putting my name out there.
Well, like I said, if anybody knows what's good for them, they'll want more and more Genie in their community and at their tables. I'm certainly glad to have you here playing games with me. It's always a great time. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Speaking of Neon Lights debuts, we have one more of those to mention as we swing ourselves up to the overlay one more time, directly across the screen from me to, of course, the one and only, the incomparable and the incredible Yoda Almighty, also called Cass.
Hi, guys. I may have overdone it this month and only had this week off where I had more than one night off. It's not a problem. I go by Yoda or Yoda Almighty, and Yoda Almighty on Discord and on Blue Sky. I will be back on your screens with Foxy on Sunday for the, question. Is it Lagrange or Lagrange? I don't know the pronunciation.
So I've heard both. I always say Lagrange, but I've heard both.
So Lagrange is literally a town here, which is why I say it that way.
That's
but
funny.
anyway,
actually Lagrange.
Yeah. Lagranga.
Lagranga.
Stop it.
Whatever it is, 3 incident on Sunday. And then I will be on Lost Caravan for Symbarum, which is going to be a 2-shot on the 19th and the 26th. And then on Thursday next week, I will be over on Live from the Apocalypse for JD's psychological horror campaign powered by the Apocalypse System that he wrote called Redacted. And then I will be over on Lost Caravan 2 days in a row on the 29th and 30th for Lancer on the 29th with the return of Maddie. There's going to be some cool burn scar makeup. And then for Pathfinder on the 30th. And then I will be with Janie on April 6th for our Speakeasy Conspiracy campaign where nothing bad is happening ever.
Well, that
sounds
my
true.
Never.
I'm sorry. Your lady friend just bought a house and you guys have to survive a week.
That sounds great.
If it's on call, just call for help, please.
Who can buy a house?
If you need it.
Right.
Like, it's the most haunted house in New Orleans, truly.
That's
sign me up.
You'll be fine.
I drank like vampire blood, didn't I?
You did drink vampire blood. Oh my god, so much happened in that session. We
The
killed
special
zombies.
juice.
We'll see how that all plays out in the grand scheme of
Question
things.
mark showed up. Like all sorts of things. But yeah.
Well, Cass, thank you for being here. It was wonderful to have my first time playing on the Lights with you be this game tonight. It meant a whole lot to me. And thanks for letting me make you my descendant somehow, apparently. We just kind of ran with that. That was great. It was fun.
Look, I'm not saying it. Jason said it. I'm not saying it.
That's fine. Living your life. I did. Anyway, so friends, I'm Foxy. Big Foxy, also called your favorite fox on the internet. Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. Sometimes it's the underscore in the middle, so if you can't find one, look for the other. I'm usually right here at Lights Roleplay, where I am creative director. You're next to see me on Sunday for the Lagrange 3 incident. It's gonna be a real good time. If you've seen the opening of Gundam Unicorn, think that. If you've not, don't worry about it. Just come along for it. Um, Outside of that, you'll next see me over on Tuesday for the Return of Until Stars Collapse, a wonderful game of Briar Sovereign's new case and soul system run by my lovely Michelle. John's there too. It's great. I'm stressed a whole lot. Hopefully, I won't be next episode. Then I'm back here on Wednesday for By His Shadow Peace, my Warhammer Wrath and Glory mystery epic. It's getting intense, and people might die soon. Hopefully, no one important. And then I'm all around for other places. But much more important than anything to do with me, please return for the rest of our Mecha March one-shot. So please, if you don't mind hanging out with me on Sunday, that'd be super awesome. But much more important than that, on Thursday, we have the incredible and incomparable Sir Hack-A-Lot returning back to run Neon Lights, making their GM debut, or not GM debut, but GM re-debut here to run an all-femme table of Violent Core. So please, if you are not doing anything Thursday night, please show up. If you have plans Thursday night, cancel them. I don't care. Be there. With that said, thank you all for everything. We'll be back on Sunday with another round. Please remember to put MM Charity in the chat for the charity link if you'd like to support the Sad Girls Club. We'll be back here with you all on Sunday. Thank you all for doing your thing. We've been A Quiet After War. I've been Foxy. You've all been incredible. And this has been Neon Lights Roleplay. Please take care of yourselves tonight. Bye, everybody.